This video addresses the 7th of 10 key elements of economic analysis that will help us understand how an economy in a free society works. Understanding these 10 key elements will help you develop a solid foundation that will assist you in making more informed decisions as an individual, as well as provide a firm basis with which to discern, to judge public policy proposals. Mastering these elements of economic analysis is necessary. It is necessary to advocate for or preserve an economic system that benefits everyone, especially the poor. There are basically two ways a person can earn an income. They can do so by forcefully taking wealth from another, either directly or indirectly by using others, including government. And a second way is to provide others with something that they need or want by offering a good or a service, or even selling and exchanging your labor services, your ability to work, for money. This video is going to focus on how one earns an income in a free market economy. And that brings us to key element 7. People earn an income by helping others. So why must people help others to earn an income? Well, in a free market economy, you can't steal, and the government's not going to pay you. The only way to earn an income is by persuading people to give you their money. You must find a way to convince them to put their hands into their wallets and to take out their money and give it to you willingly. And of course, the only way to do that is to serve them, is to help them. And that means providing a good or a service that does just that serves them, that helps them, something that they want. Because if you don't do that in a free society, then people aren't going to voluntarily take out their money and give it to you. You will fail to earn an income. And this is a beautiful aspect of free market capitalism. You could be the most selfish, narcissistic, self-absorbed person in the world. You don't care about anything or anyone, only yourself and acquiring as much luxurious stuff as possible. Yet in a free society, in a free market economy, you still have to think of others. You must consider what others want, what others need, and what they value. You must serve your fellow man. Now, some claim that free market capitalism is based on greed. Nothing could be further from the truth. Greed is a spiritual condition, a condition of the heart, and it's almost impossible to tell if someone is motivated by greed or not. Either way, it doesn't matter, because the free market is not based on greed. It is based on freedom, hence the term free market. The free market is simply a place where people can exercise their property rights and make voluntary exchanges. No force is allowed in a free market. This is not to say that you don't have greedy people, because greed afflicts people in all economic systems. But only in a free market are those motivated by greed required to serve their fellow man in order to satisfy their greed. In a socialist economic system, however, greedy people have the incentive to gain influence or control with those politicians running the government, so they can help steer policy in a way that benefits them in order to satisfy their greed. However, when government is making the decisions concerning the economy, there is no choice for the minority. There's no freedom. And because the nature of government is force, all decisions concerning exchanges will invariably benefit some at the expense of others. Those that ridicule capitalism today highlight the corrupting influence of rich businessmen in politics and government. They point out examples of where CEOs of corporations direct high-level employees to lobby government for laws and regulations that benefit them at the expense of others. When my and your representatives cater to the desires of large campaign contributors and abuse their authority by legislating unconstitutional and or unethical laws that benefit some at the expense of others, that is not free market capitalism. It is crony capitalism, and is similar to what will happen under a socialist system. In both cases, ruling officials will use their authority to infringe upon the natural rights of people. As I said before, free market capitalism is based on freedom, which requires a legal system that shows no favoritism, a legal system that protects the inalienable rights of all people. Now, when people realize the direct link between helping others and receiving income, they have the incentive to acquire skills, to develop their talents, so they can provide others with valuable goods and services. For example, college students study for long hours, endure stress. They incur the financial cost of schooling in order to become doctors, chemists, accountants, engineers. Other people acquire training and experience that will help them become electricians, maintenance workers, computer programmers. Others will invest and start businesses. They have the incentive to develop skills, to acquire skills, to develop their talents so that they are more able and more efficient at serving and helping other people. Because when you do that, you become more specialized, you become better, and as a result, become more efficient at helping other people, which results in a higher income. Now, does this only matter if you're greedy? No. Some are motivated to improve the world, and others are motivated mostly by the desire for income. But still, both, whether you're an altruist or a greedy narcissist or somewhere in between, both still have a strong incentive to develop skills and take actions that are valuable to others. High earnings comes from providing goods and services that others value. Those earnings can be used in selfish or generous ways. Those who seek wealth, whether you're motivated by greed or compassion, will have a strong incentive to pay close attention to what others want. Some people think that high-income individuals must be exploiting others. That's not true. In general, that's not true. People who earn large incomes in the marketplace generally do so by improving the well-being of many people. I mean, you can make a huge list of numerous wealthy people who got that way, who achieved that success through innovation, through ideas, investments, risk-taking. And they did that investment and that risk-taking by offering a service or a good that it turned out many people valued. And as a result, you could argue that society benefited much more than those wealthy individuals. So why do some people earn large incomes, other than the fact that they're able to serve lots of people, to make a product or offer a service that many people value? And the reason is because we're not created equal. We're not created equal in the sense that we have different productive abilities. We have different interests and preferences. We have different opportunities, specialized skills. Some of us are willing to take risks, some of us are not. Some have lots of ambition, some have little ambition. Some people have a good work ethic, others don't. You know, the list can go on and on and on. And because of those differences, there's no reason, no logical reason why anyone would think that two people, let alone a large group of people, would ever have a similar outcome in their economic futures. That people would have a similar income with those differences in mind. So because of these differences, there's no way people will achieve equal success. These differences influence people's incomes because they affect the value of the goods and services that individuals are able or willing to provide others. People who earn large incomes do so because they provide others with lots of things that they value. They're good at serving their fellow man. If these individuals did not provide valuable goods or services, consumers would not pay them so generously. Wages are similar to prices. They are determined by demand and supply. I know there's other factors that are involved and make a difference, but largely it's demand and supply. Same with prices. Wages are the price of labor. Unskilled workers earn less because the supply of people able to do jobs requiring little to no skill are many. Skilled workers, especially those who are trained in a highly specialized field like brain surgery, earn much more because there are fewer people who are able to do that job. Wages or salaries are higher in some areas than others because of how much people value them. Remember, value is subjective, and that includes jobs and how much people working particular jobs should be paid. The claim made that person so-and-so who does job X should get paid more is claiming that millions of people making voluntary exchanges based on their subjective value determinations are wrong. Complaining that teachers should get paid more than professional athletes entirely misses the reality of subjective value and completely fails to apply and understand the market forces of supply and demand. How is the free market system different from nations with economies controlled by governments? Well, it changes the incentives. Instead of the incentive to serve your fellow man, you now have the incentive to curry favor with governing officials and bureaucrats, those who make the decisions that determine the extent to which you will be able to make an income. Businesses have the incentive to use funds to lobby government in ways that benefit them over their competitors or potential competitors. This is often referred to as crony capitalism or corporatism. Some claim that the United States is a democracy or a democratic republic. In such a system, majority rule provides the basis for government action, while market activity is based on mutual agreement and voluntary exchange. Thus, in a democratic setting, when a majority, either directly or through their elected representatives, adopts a policy, the minority is forced to pay for its support even if they strongly disagree. Minority voters are forced to yield and pay taxes for support of projects even if they are harmed. The power to tax and regulate makes it possible for the majority to coerce the minority. In that system, where government determines the allocation of resources, whether it's through a dictatorship, an oligarchy, a democracy, a democratic republic, if the majority rules, there is an incentive to use funds and scarce resources to try and capture control of the seat of government so that you, or people with similar views, get to decide who benefits from government management of the economy. There is nothing similar to this coercive power when resources are allocated by markets. Market exchanges do not occur unless all parties agree. Markets allocate resources based on the voluntary exchange of millions of people, resulting in the efficient use of scarce resources and mutual profits. Mutual profits for millions of people. No force is present. One cannot say the same thing for economic systems with government intervention. As that intervention increases, the more force is used, and the more force is used, the more involuntary exchanges society has. In a command economy, the government is the ruler. In a free market, the consumer is. Consumers in a free market society are the ruler of the market. They are sovereign. In a free market society, consumers are the judge and jury. And consumers play a large role in determining the following questions: what is produced, what the price will be, and who succeeds and who fails. Why is this? Because consumer demand will either push prices up or down. Each time a consumer spends a dollar, he or she are casting votes, as dollars act as votes. And these decisions, the casting of votes, spending of dollars, or choosing not to spend a dollar, decide what products pass the market test. Therefore, consumers are the judge and jury of the market. They determine, in the long run, who succeeds and who fails. This characteristic, that the consumer is king, that the consumer is the judge and jury, largely explains why, in a free society, in a free market, in order to earn an income, you must help others. You must serve your fellow man. A common argument against free market capitalism is that it results in income inequality, that it results in too large of an income gap between the rich and the poor. Well, my question is this income gap or income inequality a bad thing? Well, the answer is yes and no.